Good morning, Warriors. Hope you guys are having a great day this morning. This is May 4th, 2022, and heading over to do some things and work, and wanted to kind of get a message out to you guys as I'm in the car here. So hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are following your plan and living the best life you can, and kind of learning from things as you go along. I think that life is a great teacher, and we have to continue to learn as we go along. And we're all learning. I am learning as well as you guys are learning, and we're all learning together and trying to take this journey to another step. So I'm getting close to 700. I think it's like 698 now. So in a couple days, I'll go ahead and probably do one. What is today? Wednesday? Probably Friday. Talk about 700 a little bit and see kind of where we're going to go. We're getting almost about 220 or something like that with hard mode. So we're getting closer to that. We're getting closer to those numbers too. Temptation has been around the corner, so I've had to fight some temptation of recently as well. So we're getting there, we're getting there, trying to kind of change the thoughts, ideas, and kind of move in the right direction. Iskara, I appreciate your comment back. I think that, you always make a good point with some of this. I think some of it is, dreams you're having, but also some of it is just things that happen. And I think the evil one has a big part to play in this. And it's not easy to do, especially when you're sleeping. All you can do is kind of fill, I think, at least this is my opinion only. I mean, all you can do is fill in as much of your life as you can with positive, things that are on the right track as far as temptation goes, and trying to read the Bible. It was nice. I was at the school the other day, and I saw a set of young ladies doing a Bible study, and I thought that was wonderful to see that in schools again. It's good to see that. I think you have to go ahead and kind of fill your life as much as possible with this. Now, is that going to protect you 100%? No. I think there's always going to be times when you're going to be tempted. And, part of that is because you are meant to procreate. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But so you have to really kind of make a choice and control yourself for those times that you're really going to tell your body it's time to procreate. And then there's other times that are not. And I think this is the kind of decision-making type of process you have to go through in order to figure that out. So, Ishar, my empathy is out to you, my friend. I know where you're at. I've been there myself, and I understand. I understand the trouble that you're struggling with this. I did that for many years, so I kind of know that. So I mean, I give you my best opinion, my best idea about what to do with it. I think certainly trying to kind of take it one day at a time, trying to kind of fill your mind up before you go to sleep with, goals and ideas, and just trying to keep focused on the things you really want to focus on, and not focus on the other things that are there. And as soon as you see that, you start shifting over to something else, and trying to shift over to something that's more positive. So, all right. So, Shar, thank you again. Good shout out. Good, good idea, and a shout out to you, my friend, for that good question and continual conversation on this issue. Hopefully you're able to make some progress with this as you go along. I do want to talk about another one. I'll call this one Cool Down. Cool Out or Cool Down. We'll figure out some kind of title for it. But one of the things that we have to kind of realize, and I've struggled with this the last couple days, when you do have stressful situations, your journey is giving you the benefit of being able to handle this better than you had before, and I think that's always a good thing. But you're still going to get frustrated. You're still going to get upset. I've noticed that you're not going to really change a lot of things around you, except you can change your attitude, and that'll eventually change things around you, but you can't really immediately change things around you. So some of these things that are happening to you are still going to happen to you, for one reason or another. Sometimes it's the evil ones, sometimes it's just circumstances that happen. Those type of things are going to happen to you. The question is, how do you deal with this? And I think that my life has gotten so much better over the last 700 days because I've been able to kind of deal with these things better. Am I perfect? No. I mean, I still had my blood boiling the last couple days with a couple things that have been happening, and so I have to actually kind of use this talk myself. So that's kind of one of the reasons I'm kind of talking about this, is because I'm kind of going through this today as far as I'm concerned as well. The idea is that you have to kind of try to find ways to cool down, because you're losing energy whenever you're not only releasing physically, but emotionally when you're getting all upset and bent out of shape. And no matter what the situation is, this is hard now. I understand this. This is hard. I'm tired here. Sorry, guys. It is you're trying to overcome these types of emotional stress, and I call them, energy vampires, zombies, whatever you want to call these, the suckers that come in and suck your energy. But some of these people are creating drama, create upset in situations so that you lose energy. I don't think they do it on purpose. I think it's the spirits involved there are trying to make you lose energy. And they're trying to force you to kind of get to a situation where you get bent out of shape. So you have to kind of cool down yourself whenever these things happen. Now, being on retention will help you do that. I have seen a difference in how I react. So that's a good thing. But you still have to have some techniques to be able to kind of do this fully, or you're still going to have some effect. And you're still going to get upset. I mean, you can make yourself get upset anytime you want to. So you want to kind of stay away from making yourself get upset. And you want to kind of, do those type of things that are going to make you feel more positive, more in control of things you're doing. So as you're talking, focusing on the idea that you want to go ahead and take some deep breaths, right? Look at the situation, take some deep breaths, and be able to focus on those things you want. I mean, there's always a great thing. I'm not sure if this came from an old show called The Honeymooners or one of the shows I used to watch when I was a kid, but they always said when you're upset, stop and take 10 seconds, a breath, and then see if you're still mad. So, that works sometimes. It doesn't work other times. But when you sit there and kind of get your mind off of being upset, it's almost like anything else. You have to kind of learn to focus away from the thing you don't want to think about. And this applies to temptation as well. You got to have to kind of refocus to something else. Now, the key to this whole thing, and this goes back to a law of physics that I teach about, Einstein's theory of relativity. You cannot really think about two things at the exact same time. You can be scared or excited, and some people are scared when they're excited, but they're both two different concepts. And so when you're looking at being scared, you're scared. If you're looking at being happy, you're happy. So when you think about something, you're going to think about something in that sense. If I'm thinking about a football, right? I'm thinking about that football. Now I can also think about throwing that football, but those are two different concepts: the throwing of it and the football. I can think about a cake, and that's different than ice cream topping on the cake. So you can't think of two things exactly at the same time. The mind does not work like that. And because the mind doesn't work like that, you're able to really focus on one thing or another. And because you can focus on one thing or another, you're able then to go ahead and say, okay, I'm focusing on this, or I'm focusing on that. And because of that, this allows you to think a lot more clearly when it comes to dealing with your anxiety, stress, dealing with temptation, all these type of things. Because the idea is that what you can do is give your mind a thought pattern of something outside of what you're thinking about. So when I'm thinking about temptation, all of a sudden I revert back to thinking about goals. And this is something consciously you would start doing and learning how to do. And you can learn how to do that. I mean, I can give you some techniques and ideas on that as well. And that's what I was talking about when I was trying to answer Ishar's question. The key is going to be to learn how to refocus, rethink. Lots of things, lots of ways they term this, but repicture it, and put it in a different type of manner. So if you're thinking about this temptation or this picture, refocus it in a different way and get your mind off of that into something that's a lot more constructive for you. So think about your goals, think about, things you want to achieve, whether it's financial, health-wise, spiritual, whatever it might be, and then go ahead and focus on other things associated with that. Don't focus on the negative types of things and get those out of your mind. And this is the secret, I think, and it was called The Secret of the Ages, a lot of these type of things. You draw those things to you that you concentrate on the most. And it makes perfect sense from a psychological, a mental type, a spiritual type of thing. If you pray on something long enough, you're going to focus on that. And God will see this is what you want. And there's more of a chance you will get that if that's within God's plan. So the whole idea is that you're really trying to kind of refocus your thinking and get away from all those thoughts that created things in the first place. See, part of the reason why a lot of people get involved with pornography and all these other types of things is because their thought patterns started that way. Everything starts with an idea. And whether or not you're involved in these type of deviant behaviors, have been involved in these deviant behaviors, a lot of that occurs because you're thinking about that first. As I said, the birds fly over your head, which is kind of an analogy of thinking about something, but it's not until you actually do it that it becomes really a problem. So you can think about something, but the idea is that you don't want it to germinate and grow into another a problem. And so this is why when you start thinking about these type of things, you got to find a way to block it off and move into something else. And so if you're upset, anger is another way to lose energy. You can lose a lot of emotional anger and energy that way too. And so what you really want to do is, once you're angry, now this is not very easy. I mean, I still struggle with this. You got to take a couple deep breaths and refocus on something else. Whenever something happens to you that is wrong, refocus. And maybe I'll title this "Cool Down and Refocus." Maybe that's a good title here. But think about something else. Refocus your thinking to something else, and you got a better chance of kind of dealing with these situations. You might be surprised on how much your thinking does impact things. If you're able to get your mind off of things, you stop worrying a lot more. I think once you also, with the nutrients and the proteins, everything you have within your body, you're able to also kind of refocus, and your confidence level grows as well. And all of a sudden now you're a different type of person. And because of that, you're not going to be as anxious. You're able to focus on goals, and you have confidence in yourself, and your thought pattern is different. You're not worried. You're not anxious. Those type of things, which I think that's a lot of the benefits of retention to begin with. But I also think that recognizing that allows you to continue to grow with that and be stronger with all that. And I think that's a very key type of thing to kind of look at and to use to your advantage. But this is kind of the key, my friends, to be able to focus on this. to kind of get away from focusing on the things you don't want and focus on the things you want. They call this the law of attraction. There's a lot of things that they call this, and I have found this works pretty well over the years. If you're going to focus on something, you're almost kind of manifesting that into yourself over a period of time, because you're looking for that type of thing. And if you're looking for that type of thing, you're going to find it. That's how you get into the trouble with temptation in the first place. A lot of us are looking into it, and we allow ourselves to look into it, and that's the problem. And so I always have to say, okay, if I allow myself to do this, I have to repent, and I have to go to God and say, I'm sorry for creating this sin. And this is not easy. I mean, this happens to me a lot, and I have to be careful because I have a very strong energy level. I have to always be on guard to make sure that every day that I am talking with the Lord, so that I do the best that I can. And in one sense, you're very blessed. A lot of us who are blessed with a high level of energy, but it can also be a curse as well. And I think, for a lot of years, it was kind of a curse for me to be able to kind of handle that energy in the right ways and not dissipate it and lose it all the time. But what happens is that refocusing over the years and be able to kind of have a different goal and idea, I've been able to kind of now see more of the benefits over the last 700 days of what this can really do. And so I'm still in a learning process, and it's gonna take some time. This is why I've kind of put together and say I'm shooting for 12 years here, because I know that I'm gonna still have back and forth. Even in monk mode, it's gonna be tempting at times, right? And I have to kind of fight that type of thoughts and ideas, which is why I went to monk mode already, because I know with my level of energy and how I am attracted to females, it is hard. It is hard, because you're really kind of focusing on saying, okay, out of the blue, this is going to hit you, and you're not ready for it. So that's why I always have to be on guard. I always have to be ready for it, always talking in the Lord, in the Bible, and trying to kind of stay focused on that as my key thing, first and foremost. So, to me, it's God, God, family, and then work and other types of, hobbies and things after that. So I think that when you look at this and try to create the best values you can, you're refocusing indirectly on things that you want to have happen, and that can help you the best way you can. Now, this is my opinion. There's other ways you can probably do this, but that's the kind of way that I would recommend refocusing, cooling off, refocusing, and saying, okay, maybe I released. Okay, that's all right. Keep trying again. Or maybe I, got upset. Go ahead and do it again. So, all right, guys. May 4th, 2022. Until next time, God bless you guys, and battle on.